so well, I decided to go ahead and break it down because apparently it's just you guys have only been passing it amongst the apt, so it's like minimal, it's like 100 or so views, but I guess if I break it down a little bit, then maybe we can expose it a little more. Ooh, they do not want this video made. This is the probably worst video ever for uh, the system. Okay, for me anyway. I mean, come on now. All right, what we're gonna do is just basically break down his video, what he's saying. I definitely have to turn that down. That's distracting to me. It's supposed to be up to. How about right there? No, no. Let's just turn it down further. All right, guys. 'Cause, yeah. All right, so let's just go ahead and jump right in and listen a little bit, stop it, play it, talk it a little bit, and explain and go ahead and here we go. Okay, I did hit play, guys. Believe me. Well, I hit it again.
Now, if y'all don't mind, I'd like to take a couple minutes to share a document with you. This is the National Liberation Status request by Afro descendants living in the United States of America.
Okay, a document with a title. And okay, that means you can pretty much look it up. I think that's the only one I didn't look up. Well, the other proofs are here. Let's go ahead and go into the other proofs. Oh, I am so sorry, guys. I know you're like, why don't you? Okay, here we go.
We, and then there are some names I will not reveal,
Yeah, I didn't reveal it
and
for
the
the.
human rights defenders and chief facilitators of the African descendant nation of the African descendants people right to self-determination in the United States of America.
Okay, so he said in the United States of America, that's the last thing you heard. He's talking about Afro descendants. He did not say black people. So that's the key right here. We're talking about legalese and law and how you distinguish yourself among the straw man and being a slave, 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment slave. Guys, let's go.
Hereby declare state of emergency and immediate national liberation status effective June 26th of 2020. This is how long the action has been going through. The Afro-descendant people of the United States of America request the Human Rights Court to recognize the African Descendants Nation and the African Descendants.
Okay, Human Rights Court. So let's go ahead and hit them up really quick and see. Here we go. Let me go to the page myself. I gotta get used to this stuff, you guys, you know. I'm a bit nervous right now when it comes to. Here we go. Because I got so many of them open, right? Okay. This page here is United Nations, and you scroll down here, structure of the United Nations and their General Assembly. They form charters, laws that the world lives by because there is 193 member state right here. It says, can you see that? Let me make sure you guys can see that. Okay, 100. Can you see my mouse even? I'm not sure. All right, so this is. Let's scroll down a bit. Basically, it'll go to the International Court of Justice. The International Court of Justice is the principal judicial organ of the United Nations. So they have a court that you can appeal to if you have a problem as a nation. These nations, this body of nations, come together in the world as police, or in the sense of police, but not actual police. All right, let's go ahead and listen some more to what he's saying, so we know that who he presented it to is valid. Let's go ahead. Oops. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead.
Descendants of the USA as a national liberation movement entitled to support in the immediate achievement of security, self-determination, decolonization, emergency humanitarian assistance, emergency resettlement of refugees funded by the U.S. government, guarantees of non-repetition, immediate release of political prisoners of special jurisdiction, authority transfers, and immediate reparations. There are about 42 pages to this document. I will not read all of them, but I will read some of the highlights. It says, we, the African descendants nation and African descendants living within the United States of America.
Okay, let's go ahead and explain why you are included. He just said we, people in America, Afro descendants. So if you are a melanated person, then you are part of this. He is speaking for you. Now, does that mean that you have to be a part of it? No. No. You don't have to. You just are. Which is good for you because you're lame and you don't know. And, you know, that's okay. That's why I'm here. So, let's go ahead and go to the next one. Let's see what he's saying.
Are under tremendous violations of our human rights within the genocidal conditions we're forced to live under. We consider these crimes against humanity and watch daily as the violence increases against our community, with open threats to our members by law enforcement and regularly armed European colonizer citizens. In several states where we're located, the National Guard has been called in, and we see this pattern as more ways for the United States to increase their oppression of our people. As such, we declare a national state of emergency and immediate national liberation status. The African descendant nation and the African descendants within the United States request the Human Rights Court to recognize the African descendant nation and the Afro descendants in the USA as a national liberated nation entitled to support in the immediate achievement of security, self-determination, decolonization.
Okay, so remember, guys, he is asking these 193 nations, their court, which is the International Court of Justice, which is called by several different other names as well. Let's just go ahead. So this is who we're talking to.
Emergency humanitarian assistance, emergency resettlement of refugees, government guarantees of non-repetition, again, immediate release of all political prisoners, special jurisdiction globally, authority transfers, and immediate unconditional reparations paid by all countries involved in the Portuguese slave trade. The United States government perpetuates the 1619 myth as the arrival of the first Afro descendants in the Americas.
Okay, 1619 myth. I don't think I brought that up. No. So that's basically a myth perpetuated by a writer, I think in New York Times, saying that instead of 1776 being the original formation of the United States, it would be when the first slaves were brought here, which would be the 1619 myth that he's trying to perpetuate, and saying that. But we know that people were here before, that we were here before then, because we travel the world. So that's what he's talking about, and the guy really gives us a talking point, a more recent talking point to go from, and to really perpetuate this new article here. Let's go ahead and listen.
Prevents U.S. Afro descendants from joining Native Americans as having a pre-existing status. This early presence serves as the basis for moral and legal rights for Native Americans, such as the legal doctrine of historic title, thus separating the African descendants, Afro-descendants, from their land, claims due to their mixed indigenous
my bad.
status.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
African descendant nations and U.S. African...
I didn't. I'm so sorry. I may have to do the video if it's too... If I did it too
existence did not start with enslavement in the Americas. Overwhelming evidence proves Africans frequently sailed across the Atlantic to the Americas thousands of years before Columbus and had settled the lands even before those now called the Native Americans. The United States government exerts its self-ordained authority over U.S. Afro descendants when the international human rights laws condemn it. Article 20 of the UN Charter states no one may be compelled to belong to an association, and U.S. Afro descendants' political status has been ambiguous since 1865. Shortly after the U.S. annexed the population without their consent via the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments to the U.S. Constitution decisions. These decisions declared U.S. Afro descendants a simple minority with no collective rights and deprived them of the right to self-determinate. Since then, the U.S. Afro descendants have been relegated to a simple minority status instead of that as a people. States protect minorities, but people have a right to self-determination. The U.S. government avoids its international responsibilities for a series of human rights violations such as apartheid.
He said the United States avoids its international responsibility, and we can run over there really quick. This is it here? No. Okay, here we go. This is where you guys are at, right? Okay, let me minimize that so I can see as well. Okay, yep. Here we go. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So he's saying that the United States has been avoiding its obligation to protect its... I have to open this up so I can read it. No, I don't. I can just do it like that. Let's read a little bit of it for you guys, I guess, and keep moving. Preamble, whereas recognition of the inherent dignity and of the equal and inalienable rights of all members of the human family is the foundation of freedom, justice, and peace in the world. Whereas this is the preamble. I guess, we should read it. Whereas disregard and contempt for human rights have resulted in barbarous acts which have outraged the conscience of mankind, and the advent of a world in which human beings shall enjoy freedom of speech and belief, and freedom from fear and want has been proclaimed as the highest aspiration of the common people. Whereas it is essential, if man is not to be compelled to have recourse as a last result. Let's just keep going, because I don't think you want to hear that. I think you want to hear this part here. Like Article 1. What article? Did he say an article? He didn't say article particularly, not yet. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and right. They are endowed with reason and conscience and shall act toward one another in a spirit of brotherhood. And it goes on to say more human rights and stuff. So basically, he's saying the United States is in violation of those human rights. And we were just go back and because those human rights are enforced by 193 other nations, and the United States is not part of it. I don't think. I don't think United States is part of the UN. Of course not. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a need to. Um, there's a reason something Geneva in one of the Geneva Conventions. You guys have to go look it up. But let's go ahead and that's what you should ask yourself. I guess the question is, who isn't part of this? The human rights. Who doesn't support the UN and the human rights? Okay, let's go ahead and continue.
Colonialism, belligerent occupancy, and crimes against humanity owing to the absence of a legal framework that recognizes the legal personality of Afro-descendants, nations, and U.S. Afro-descendants as colonized indigenous people instead of a simple minority. This means the United States government refuses to establish a legal and regulatory framework that recognizes a special jurisdiction, a right of self-determination, collective ownership of human capital, wealth, power, resources, economy, real, cultural, and biological property of the Afro-descendants nation and Afro-descendants living within the USA. The condition of the Afro-descendants in the USA has been documented in this report given by the United Nations Working
Documented in this report given by the United Nations, guys, he's not joking. I have it somewhere. Oh, is this it? This is it. A documented report. It says Geneva in the 5th of June 2020. It's the bit rate is a bit. I should just go to the page, but I'll try and read it from here. A group of independent UN rights experts today called on the United States government to take decisive action to address systematic racism and racial bias in the country's criminal justice system by launching independent investigations and ensuring accountability in all cases of excessive use of force by police. They also issued a statement regarding the nationwide protest against racial injustice. There's a lot to this. There's a lot more to this. You guys go and read it. That's not it. Here we go. No, that's not it. I have some of their pages open that I haven't found that yet. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Uh, Basically, what he just said is so. You can actually find it. So let's just keep moving. This is proof that you can find it. So I just want to show you proof that you can find it. Let's go ahead and go back and
group of experts on people of African descendants country visit to the USA as of January 2020 and their subsequent report to the United Nations Human Rights Council in July of 2020. Things have only gotten worse since that report and is captured in the news daily as the whole world observes what is happening to the African descendant nation / Afro descendants living in the USA. I will now drop down to the very end of this document because it's about 50 some pages long. As I say, we are ascending to the throne. As we ascend to the throne, we deal with a few things. One of those is the issue of reparations. In January of 2020, the United Nations Working Group of Experts on People of African Descent country visited the United States. In their subsequent report to the UN Human Rights Council, they stated and they recommended that the U.S. owed its African descendant populations reparations.
oh, you heard that, right? That's true. And what he's about to say is he asked Mitch McConnell, I think that's what he's about to say about it, and that's what he's gonna go to refer to next. So all this stuff is in print, guys. It's ready. It's real. Only thing you have to do is If he says come tomorrow, you need to be there tomorrow, without a question, without a doubt. If you're part of, something, you want to be part of something bigger than yourself. Let's go ahead and go back to him. He's about to basically he's about to say that those experts that you saw in the previous clip here, these experts came here to the U.S. and uh, tried to talk to us and tell us, hey, you owe these guys reparations and repair, and this is what one person said. Let's listen.
Things have only gotten worse since that report, as it's captured daily on the news. When asked about giving reparations to the descendants of the formerly enslaved Majority Senate Leader Mitch McConnell said, "We tried to deal with our original sin of slavery by fighting a civil war, by passing landmark civil rights legislation, and then we elected an African American president." None of his response addressed the issues highlighted in the working group's report, nor the globally agreed upon General Assembly Resolution 60 to 147 of 16 December 2005, Article 18, which states, "In accordance with domestic law and international law, and taking account of individual circumstances, victims of gross violations of international human rights law."
Guys, we are talking about the law, okay? We're not talking about what you feel, what you believe. We're talking about legal ramifications, paperwork, paper trail, guns behind it, lives behind it, blood behind it, money behind it, bills behind it. This is just not a piece of paper to the UN. This is the Declaration of Liberation, guys. We're declaring it. And based in the law, they have to respect it. Only thing now we need is a flag and constitution and all other stuff. But with 1 million people, I'm sure we got plenty of people who are able to do that. And if necessary, I'll do it. Hey, I'm just saying, come on, guys. Don't expect me to. I'll do it if you give me some help. Surely. But let's go ahead and continue.
And serious violations of international humanitarian law should, as appropriate and proportional to the gravity of the violation and the circumstances of each case, be provided with full and effective reparations as laid out in Principles 19 through 23, which include the following forms: restitution, compensation, rehabilitation, satisfaction, and guarantees of non-repetition. All of these are embodied within this document. The requested remedies I will not go through. Those will be published soon enough. These are now saying request immediate recognition of national liberation status, facilitate precautionary measures, special jurisdiction, immediate release of political prisoners, transfer of authority, emergency resettlement at the expense of the U.S. government, emergency evacuation and repatriation to Africa, or America's humanitarian aid treaty or compact, and reparations. Thank you for your immediate consideration and response to this application. We remain available for further information. Signed by the chief facilitators. I shall not reveal their names. Submitted 722, approved 72020. This is our Declaration of Liberation.
That's it, guys. I mean, there's nothing really more to say. It's been presented to the world, 193 countries. It's in, it's out there. In other words, let's drop this down so I can see. Cause let me apologize for not flipping the screen sooner. I'm still getting used to this stuff. But for the most part, you don't need to vote or do anything if you don't want. If you want to be part of this new paradigm. Where we build our own, have our own. And I guess we can talk about that in the next video. I just wanted to kind of shed some kind of light on how to view this information, because this is legal. This is not what you believe, what you hope, you march for. It's already effective. we don't need to necessarily show a million people, but we're gonna show a million guns, and that's our military. That proves that you have 1 million people willing to stand up for the rights of each other, and we'll have a common consensus on our goals and stuff in the future. But for right now, we just we're coming together for under a national emergency, and saying that us melanated descendants, Afro descendants, are we are a nation and we can rule ourselves. We don't need you to police us or to give us law or to give us money or give us help. We can do all of that ourselves. So basically that's what it is, and you are involved whether you like it or not. Like I said, if you don't want to be involved, you just stay here and be slaughtered. That's up to you. But if you do want to be involved, you aren't denied in this claim, in this opportunity. So you can go regardless who you are, where you are. Like I said the other day, Moorish, black, colored, whoever. So all right, guys, like the video, share the video like you did before. Put some comments in the box and let me know what needs to be explained. And of course, if you're new, subscribe. Don't watch the video, get information, learn, and don't share it with others. And that's about it, guys. Thanks for the new subscribers and the many views on the last one. I hope this will help you out a bit, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.